Hey there. So, welcome this morning. I previously did this live, but I hit the wrong thing. Dawn is still not awake. I hit window instead of entire screen, so people could only see the screen that I was showing before. So, I'm re-recording this and lessons learned. So, without further ado, let me go ahead and redo this session. So, I'm going to share my screen, the entire screen this time, Dawn, the entire screen. So what you're seeing is this week's blog. I did visual filters, swap a sheet with an image. So what I did is I created 3 visualizations, a bar, a area chart, and a map. And what I want users to do is to sheet swap with an image. So here is the Tableau Public dashboard. And when they click on the menu item, they can swap the different sheets. So there we go. How do we create this? So what I'm going to do is I am going to open Tableau Public, and we're going to recreate this. So let's go ahead and click on a new workbook, and let's do that. So the other things that you need to do for this is you need to create a worksheet called chart type, and then put line, bar, and map. So I used Google Sheets for this. I downloaded this, and this will be my second data source. So in a Tableau workbook, I'm going to click Connect to Data, and I'm going to connect to connect to Sample Superstore dataset. So it is an older version, so keep that in mind. So I'm going to click on Sample Superstore dataset and click Open. And I'm going to drag the orders table onto the canvas, and then I'm going to go to Sheet 1. All right. So the first item I'm going to create is that stacked bar chart. So I'm going to drag order date to the column's shelf, and I'm going to select continuous month. So the first set are, when you click that down arrow on order date, the first set are discrete. You can see a little preview of what they look like there. And the second set are continuous. So I'm going to select month continuous there. Let me make sure that I'm sharing my screen. Yes, I'm sharing my screen. And let me make sure that you can see. Yes, you can see. Okay. Dawn should have tested this morning. Oh my goodness. So the next thing I'm going to do is put profit on the rows shelf, and you can see it changes it to a line. And I want it to be a bar chart. So I'm going to select bar from the marks type dropdown here. And make it a little bit more interesting, I'm going to make this a stacked bar chart. So I'm going to add region to the color marks card. And whoa, those are some colors. The generic colors that are automatically added, your eye is really drawn to that orange. So I'm going to change them. I'm going to click the color view modifier and click edit colors. And I'm going to select the blue teal color palette from the dropdown. And select the sign palette, and then select apply. So we can see that the different regions are different colors there. Another habit to get into when you're developing is to format a workbook all at once. So I'm going to go up to the format menu and select workbook, so format workbook. And this menu will allow you to edit the entire workbook at once. And I learned this trick from another Tableau ambassador, Yamil. And let me see, Yamil Medina is, he is also another 3-time ambassador, which, you know, this was the big news yesterday was the ambassadors. So format workbook, and then I'm going to go to lines and then remove the grid lines. And then I'm going to select more, and I'm going to remove the axis rulers because you can see there's a faint gray line there. So I'm going to axis rulers and turn them off. And there we go. And the other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to close this menu out, and I'm going to format the bottom axis. So I'm going to right click on that and select Edit Axis. And I'm going to change this to, I'm going to delete this month of order date because it's not really adding anything. It's creating visual noise. So I'm going to just delete that title on the Edit Axis pop-up menu and click Close. And then I'm going to right click Format. So these are always the menus that you're going to get used to, is right click Edit, right click Format. So right click on Format, and I'm going to change the way the month and the year are shown under Scale and clicking Dates, and I'm going to do Custom. And I'm going to type in 3 lowercase m's, a space, and 2 y's. So there we go. So abbreviated month, and then 3-letter month, and then 2-digit years separated by a space. So this is our first visualization. I'm going to close out of that tab and then rename this Stacked Bar. All right, so that's just our first visualization. Then our second visualization that we're going to create is what are we creating, Dawn? We are creating the line area chart. So let's go ahead and put order date once again on the columns shelf and select continuous month. And I'm going to put sales on the rows shelf. And then I'm going to put sales on the row shelf again. And I'm going to make it dual axis because I'm going to do a line and an area chart. So I'm going to click on that second pill and select dual axis. And I can see that I now have 3 marks cards. So for that third marks card, I'm going to select area. And I could see that it already bumped down the color of that second line. And I'm going to just change it just a little bit, make it a little bit brighter, because I really want that line to pop. Once again, we're going to right click on the bottom axis and select Edit Axis to delete that month of order date. And then I'm going to right click on the bottom axis again and select Format. And I'm going to change that date to those 3 lowercase letters, a space, and then 2 Y's. So we've got 3 lowercase like M and then a space and a Y, so that's 3-digit month, whatever. Okay, and then I'm going to right click on the first sales axis and then uncheck Show Header, so it gets rid of both. But now it has this line around here that we didn't get rid of with the Format Workbook option. So on the Format Sum of Sales, we're going to click on the Format Borders icon and then get rid of the column dividers and the row dividers. So there we go. We've got a revised, area line chart. So I'm going to rename this line/area worksheet. And now I'm going to create the map. So I just want to make sure that we are showing, we are showing the screen. Lesson learned. I'm going to click on a new sheet, and I'm just going to double click on the map, double click on the state province, and it will automatically create a map. And I want to show city because I want to get down to the city granular level. So I'm going to drag city and put it on detail. So I can see every plot now on this map is a city. But I want to call out, my purpose of showing a map is to call out the cities that had a negative profit. So I really want the user to focus in on those cities that had negative profit. So I'm going to go to the marks type dropdown and change this to a shape. And I'm going to create a calculated field. So I'm going to go, I could either right click and select create a calculated field, or I could check this down arrow and say create a calculated field. So I'm going to call this profit arrows. So hey, if the sum of profit is greater than 0, that is all I'm going to do. So this is going to create a true or false formula. And so any profit, any positive profit is going to be true. Any negative profit is going to be false. So I'm going to click OK on this. And I'm going to put this on the shape marks card. So we can see we have two different icons here. So I'm going to click on the shape marks type and then view modifier, shape view modifier. And I'm going to select filled. And for false, I'm going to select the down arrow. And for true, I'm going to click the up arrow. So, and then I'm going to click apply. So for any cities that had positive profit, they will be an up arrow, and any cities that had negative profit will have a down arrow. But I don't see it in the tooltip. So I'm going to have to drag profit on to the tooltip. So then we can see, oh, yep, negative, just to check our calculated field to make sure we're doing the right thing. I also want to call this out with color. So I'm going to drag that profit arrow to the color marks type, and we can see true is orange, and your eye is really drawn to that orange, but we only want our users to focus on that negative profit. So we need to change the color, and this is called pre-attentive attribute of color to really draw that user's eye and get them engaged in our data. So I'm going to click on the color view modifier, click edit colors, and then for true, I'm going to say gray, because it's going to match with the background. Yep, if I click apply, I can see, yep, your eye is really focused on that blue. So I'm going to make the false red and click apply, so then that really draws your eye in. So with this view, your user could then like drill down and see, you could use sets to drill down and see, okay, what did the people purchase, you know, in those cities that were negative profits, and this really can help your user. So I'm going to go ahead and call this a map worksheet. And other things you could do is you can remove like the names of the states by going up to the map menu and saying background layers, and uncheck the, and I'm going to use the arrow to stretch this out a little bit, uncheck country region names, uncheck province state borders. There we go. We've got our sheet here. So then I'm going to go to the data source tab and bring in that worksheet I created in Google Sheets, this chart type worksheet. I'm going to bring it in here. So I'm going to click on new data source, and I'm going to click Microsoft Excel because I extracted it from Google Sheets as an Excel file, and do chart type and click open. And we can see it here. So then I'm going to go ahead and create my legend sheet. So I'm going to click on a new worksheet, and I am going to put chart type on the columns shelf. And then I'm going to change this to a shape marks type. I'm going to put chart type to the shapes marks card. And I'm going to stretch this out. I'm going to go up to the toolbar and select entire view. I'm going to hide the chart type field label. I don't need that. And I'm going to hide the show header. So I'll have different shapes here. And then there's also this gray line. So once again, right-click Format, and I'm going to go to the borders and get rid of the row dividers. So, okay, what are we going to do with this? Well, a great site to use is Icons 8. I downloaded Icons from Icons 8. And as you see here, this is the mark type, the map. I chose this icon here. There's also a bar. They've got a variety of bar chart icons here. So I use this one, but this one's kind of cool. And there's some more if you scroll down, like I kind of like this bar chart too. And then I looked for a line chart. And you can see there's different like lines. I think I did area. I think I did an area. Area chart, Dawn, area chart. So we could see, yep, I used this one. So icons8.com, when you click on this, you can click download, and I put it in my shapes folder. So if I click on my File Explorer window, My Tableau repository is in your documents folder, and you have a shapes folder there. And I just created different folders here and put them in there. So you can see dashboard icons. I have a bunch here just for Tableau usage. And Windows tip, you can right click on something and you could say pin to quick access. And so that way, every time you open a File Explorer window, your items that you pinned will be right there. So that's just another Windows tip along with the Tableau tips today. So I'm going to click on the shape view modifier, and I'm going to go to that dashboard icons folder. So I'm going to click on the bar and select the bar chart. I'm going to click on line, check the area chart, and then I'm going to click on map and click the map icon, and then click apply. So I'm going to select OK, and we can see I've got these different items here. And then I'm going to select the tooltip because I'm going to edit that generic chart type map, blah, blah, blah. So I'm going to click on tooltip and say, click here to filter the dashboard for the blank chart. This is the one thing that I do not like about Tableau is that it doesn't highlight the color. You see if I'm highlighting this text, you kind of have to guess what color it is. Sometimes it's not right. Sometimes it is right. It's just a little strange. And I'm going to uncheck these include command buttons and allow selection by category because this doesn't have any data by it. This is just a worksheet for legend purposes. So I'm going to click OK. And now you can see when you hover over those icons, it tells you what to do. So I'm going to go ahead and rename this legend. And I'm going to go to my stack, back to my stack bar chart. And I'm going to create a parameter. If you go to, sorry, go back to legend, a quick tip is we have that chart type column that has the names. If you right click on that chart type column and select create parameter, it'll automatically have the cells that were in the parameter. You'll see that it's a string because it's pulling the metadata from that column, and you'll see that they're there, and it gives it the name of chart type parameter. So if I click OK, I now have this parameter that I'll use for future use. So I'm going to go back to the stacked bar worksheet, and I can see the parameter is there, even though it was built on a different data source. So I'm going to click on this to create a filter to only show this worksheet. So I'm going to right click on it and say create calculated field. And I'm going to say if that chart type parameter is equal to, this is bar Dawn, the bar chart. And I'm going to call this worksheet type bar and click OK. So this will create a true or false formula. And I'm going to put it on that filters shelf, and I'm going to say true. This will only say true if that bar parameter is selected. So I'm going to have to show this parameter on the other worksheets and change them. You'll see. So true, click OK. Now I'm going to go to the line area chart. I'm going to right click show parameter, and I'm going to create another calculated field. If I right click on chart type parameter and say create calculated field, I'm going to say if this is equal to line. And I'm going to call this worksheet filter line and click OK. So as I said, if I try to put this on the filter shelf, I don't have that true icon because this is the line chart. So I need to change the parameter to a line in order to get that true value. So I'm going to take that worksheet filter line and put it on the filter shelf, and now I can check true and click OK. So if I go to bar, this disappears because that filter here helps that visualization. So this is that sheet swapping thing that we're talking about. So now I'm going to go to the map, and I'm going to create a third calculated field. So I'm going to show the parameter, and I'm going to right click on that parameter and select create calculated field. I'm going to say equals map on that pop-up menu. So hey, does that chart type parameter equal a map? So I'm going to call this worksheet filter map. And I realized that I named these inconsistently, so I might go back and change that one. So worksheet filter map, okay, put it on the filter shelf. Oh, once again, it doesn't have true. So Dawn needs to change the parameter to map and then drag that filter to the filter, that calculated field to the filter shelf and select true and select OK. So now this map will disappear when I'm selecting line and will only come up for map. All right, so we've got this. Now we want to put it all together. And we're going to click on New Dashboard. And we are going to select a fixed size. I'm going to select generic desktop. And another thing that Tableau does is phone layout. You go up to dashboard. There's this option to add phone layout to new dashboards. I uncheck that. I don't want to add a phone layout for this, but if you want to, you can. So what I'm going to do to create this dashboard is I am going to, actually, you know what? I'm going to make this fit into the view. It's a little bit easier to see for this demo purposes. I'm going to drag a vertical container to where it says drop sheets here, because I need to put these 3 worksheets inside a container in order for the sheet swapping to work. And you can tell you have a container on the canvas if you've got a blue tab up here and you have an X and a down arrow. You can even see here it says container. There's remove container, distribute contents evenly. So you know you have a container on the canvas. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to double click on the stack bar, double click on the line, and then double click on the map. So it'll bring them all into this container here. And then I'm going to get rid of the container with that in it, because it automatically puts the legend into another container, which I don't need those. So the other thing I need to do is I need to hide titles so that the sheet swapping will work. So I'll do hide title here, and then hide title here by right-clicking on each of those, and it will hide those titles. So now I want to add another container to put the parameter, put our legend into a floating container. So I'm going to drag vertical container, put it onto the canvas. I'm going to click the down arrow on this new container and select Add Show Hide button. And then we can see, oh, got a little button here. I'm going to expand it out a little bit. Then I'm going to click on this container and make it floating. So it will, get our little options here. So the other thing where it says hold shift objects to drop, the menu item here, I like to give my container, my menu container, a background color. So I'm going to click on this and click on layout and then select the background color. So it's different than the visualization. So you can kind of identify, and it makes things easier when you drag things to that container. So I'm going to put a text object inside this container first, calling this a filter menu. And then I'm going to say something like, please click on an icon below to filter the dashboard. Something like that. And then I'm going to make the filter menu a little bit larger. And so that'll be the instructions for what the user can do are right in the container there. And then I'm going to drag the legend worksheet inside this floating container and hide it there. So we've got it started. Okay. Now we need to do a dashboard action. So I'm going to go ahead and go to the dashboard actions menu. And I'm going to select change parameter. So I'm going to call this change chart. And another quick tip, if you want to not manually deselect so many different sheets, if you've got a lot, is you could do Control A on your keyboard and it'll highlight them all at once. I just uncheck one and it'll uncheck all of them. So that's just another little quick tip. Then you click on an item again to get out of that all selection, and then I'm going to select legend. And then here I'm going to say target parameter is that chart type. Run action on select. Clearing the selection will keep the current value. And then I'm going to select that chart type column. So this will work because of the parameters and the filters that we created. We made sure that those text was the exact same from the worksheet, so it will apply to all the others. So I'm going to click OK on this, the legend, chart type parameter, and then that chart type field, and click OK. Now I'm going to click OK again, and my users should be able to do those actions now on the different views. But notice that highlighting is taking place, and this is the kind of annoying thing, is I don't like how the others are grayed out. You may like it, I don't. So I'm going to go to that worksheet by clicking on this Go to Worksheet, and I'm going to create a calculated field called false, and I'm going to call this false. I might make this all uppercase, it's fine. And I'm going to put this on the detail of my legend. I could also go back and do this on the other sheets as well, but I just wanted to give you an example of what this looks like. So I'm going to put false on detail, and then I'm going to go back to my dashboard, and I'm going to pick another dashboard action. I'm going to go up to Dashboard Menu, select Dashboard Actions, and I'm going to say Highlight. So I'm adding a highlight action, but I'm actually not highlighting anything. So I'm going to call this No Highlights, and I'll call this Legend. So we know this is the Legend worksheet. So once again, Control A to select all of them, uncheck one, then click on Legend. I'm going to do the same thing down here, Control A, and then select one and click on Legend. And then down here under Target Highlighting, I'm going to select Selected Fields and select False. So this will only do the highlight on the word false, which is not in the visualization at all, except for the detail. So I'm going to click OK. Then I'm going to click OK again on the Actions menu. And now you'll see that there's no highlighting taking place. So this is another Tableau tech tip out there. So I am going to hide this because it also put our chart type legend in the view. So I'm going to get rid of that. And so I'm also going to get rid of the profit legend, show header. These are all little things that you'll have to do when you are, editing your visualization. Like, what does it look like? Do I want to do padding? Those kinds of things. So that works. Now I'm going to add the title, which is Show Dashboard Title. And you could do another container to put this button to not floating, which I'm going to do. I'm going to drag horizontal container to the top. And I'm going to take this and put it in there. And then I'm going to not make this button floating. And did it lock it inside already? Yes, it did. So I'm just going to shrink that up there. And then now when I do show alt click, it'll be, the button will be inside the container. And you can rename this however you want. You can rename this however you want. And then just do your padding and stuff like that. And I adjusted that. So this is how you do that, that whole, dashboard. And wanted to give Zach some credit. So this whole idea is from Zach Geis. He is a Tableau visionary and COE leader who coincidentally is also my manager. Wanted to give him a shout out because this was originally in his blog article, which is coming back, his Data Theories blog, which will come back soon. But what I did is I basically took it and did the step-by-step in my blog, Visual Filters. There's a little video there that you can see the same demo that we did. But not only can you change the chart type on his visualization, but you can change the colors. So if you want to download his workbook, you can, Tableau workbook, and see how it's configured. So thanks again for watching. I know this is a much abbreviated version of the previous video, but thank you for watching, and I hope you have a great day.